Hola chamos, it's Monday morning and that means a new episode of Alvaro Dev Labs. In today's video we're gonna check out Vite, the new frontend tooling created by Evan Yu, the same guy that created Vue. It is pronounced Vite, no Vite, like biting stuff, or Vite, no, it's Vite. And it means fast in French. So why there is so much hype around this tool? Because a difference from another build tools that are standard like Webpack, Rollup, and even Parcel, this doesn't bundle the code into few single files, but it does it different. Before entering to that part and explain how it works and why it's so fast, let's just get it started and create a new Vite project, and we are going to compare it against a Webpack one, okay? So basically, I have here the web page of Vite, and they have a get start here, and it gives you the commands to create a new one. The cool thing is that Vite is framework agnostic, so don't think that Vite is only for Vue. It's not true. So you can use it to build vanilla JavaScript projects. You can use it to create React components, React projects with TypeScript even, and web components with lead element. I think they also have support for esbuild, but I don't know why they don't have any supported templates yet. I will figure out, but let's just add here in the terminal, and I'm going to create in the left side a normal project with Webpack. In this case, I'm going to use Vue. Okay, so we are going to create one with Vue CLI that use Webpack, and we are going to create in the right side one with Vite. So bam, this is how I break continuity of the video to put my glasses because I see shit. So back to business, here we have our terminal. In the left side, we're going to create it with Vue CLI. So I'm going just to put Vue create. Awesomely standard to differentiate it, and in this one we are going to use the same command that is in the web page, that is yarn create Vite.js app, and this one I'm going to call it awesomely fast to differentiate it. I'm passing some parameters like the template directly, but normally you will have a prompt asking you what template do you want to use. So I'm just going to click enter here, or probably this one is going to ask me which one, what are the presets that I want. Just the simple one, the Vue 3 preview. Okay, that was fast. I'm going to open it and open VS Code with it. So code like this. Okay. So this one doesn't pre-install the packages, so you're just going to use yarn. No, I don't want to. Okay, this one is ready, the Vite one. This one also. So let's just enter as only standard and open code. Okay, we can close this one and just put it side by side like this, because we want to see the comparison of the speed between the commands at the build and the dev server. So I'm going to shoot that this, open the terminal here. Both are really simple applications. They are the basic one that comes with each one of the ways to do it. This one is just a Vue 3 one, and the Vite one also, I think it comes with Vue 3 by default. So let's go to the app. So yeah, this is basically the same here. Okay, I'm going to clear the consoles to have a little more space, and we can use a little bit more the screen here, and I'm going to duplicate these screens here. Okay. Something like this. Well, later we will see if it's enough. Also for the video, I guess I need to maximize the font so you can also see it. I guess here is okay. Okay, fair enough, right? Here, let's inspect each one of them. I'm probably just going to take more of the window here. Now let's go to network. And I'm going to do the same one for the Vite. Here's the network. Okay, so let's just refresh these two. Both are with JavaScript, so we only see the JavaScript that is loading. And you can see a major difference now between the Webpack one and the Vite one. Here we have two files that are the bundles of everything you code in that application. I'm not an expert on Webpack, but I think this one, the app.js, is the one containing the code that you wrote, and the chunk vendor is probably all the third-party code that is in your application to work, all the dependencies that doesn't change often, so they're put in a different file. But this is how I understand it. And the Vite one is quite different because it has all the files here. Actually, it has the main one. You have the esbuild view, and even the components are here and loaded separately. Here you have more requests actually, but check out the size of the transfer. Here you have that 2.4 megabytes transfer in those files, and this one has not even 1 megabyte. It also reduced the size of your code whenever it's served, so that also helped it to be faster. Here it was slowed at 170 milliseconds, and this one it was almost half a second to load. Here you can start seeing why Vite is so fast, but what is under the hood? Why it works this way? First, let's see how a bundle-based compiler works before we see how Vite solves the pain points like the slow updates on the dev server. This graph here, or this module graph, is based on the VueCLI application that we were working before. So we have our entry point that is the main.js, and then we had two branches. One will be the third-party dependencies like Vue. Of course, this continue growing because there are more dependencies here, but that's kind of Webpack work. And this is the one that concerns us a little bit more, that is our code. We have the main.js that this is importing an app.vue, and this app.vue is importing a hello world component. What Webpack does is that it gets everything here and it compiles it into a bundle. Okay, so here let's create the bundle like this. So this bundle is basically a JS file with everything, okay, that is going to be loaded in your application. And then it says, okay, the dev server is ready, and it's served like this. Imagine now that you made a change in the hello world file. So it will be really inefficient if the bundle needs to rebuild everything again just because it made a small change here. It would linearly degrade the developer experience and the time based on how big is your application. Here is a real small one. We only have like app.vue and hello world, but imagine that this is really huge, like a lot of more components, more routes, etc. So this speed will decrease linearly with the size of the application. Now, how does Webpack, and I think most of the bundle-based compilers use, is something that is called HMR, or hot module replacement. This is just code that is injected into the bundle, so the dev server is able to communicate with this and say, hey, I updated a certain part of the code. So it's basically allocating in memory information of what entry points or what parts of the module graph were edited. So it will ask for main.js and say, hey, do you need an update? No, okay. So next, app.view, do you need an update? No. And it will go on until it takes the hello world one. Even though it's faster than rebuilding the whole thing again every time, it takes some time and it adds a lot of code into your bundle. How Vite works is a completely different story. It uses ESM or JavaScript modules under the hood. So that means that instead of having to compile the whole thing all over again, it creates the dev server and then it does an HTTP request like an on-demand compilation. Native ESM takes more of the job of compilation from the bundle into the browser itself. So it imports the module or the main.js and it does an on-demand compilation of the parts that needs to be compiled. That's why in the network tab that we saw before, we saw different HTTP requests for each one of the modules. Like in Webpack, it was only the bundle one and the vendors, and in this one, it was more requests for each one of the file. So that's how it works. And for the hot module replacement, what I understood is that in native ESM, the HMR works more efficiently. What it does is it leverages the HTTP requests and the couples replacement performance from the total number of modules. So no matter how much your application grows, it will be the same speed, basically. Coming back to the speed comparisons, here I have again our two apps, the one in Vue CLI and the one in Vite. So this one is very hard to demonstrate because it's so fast in both that it's really not visible actually. But it will be visible if the application has a lot of components and a lot of complexity. So it's basically when I save both, I will try to do it at the same time if I can. So, well, you could see it. It was faster for the Vite one to create iteration between Hello World components, and it updated way faster than the Vue CLI one. So even when this one was already done, this one still wasn't compiled. So that explains how the hot module replacement works better in native ESM. How about building into production? How fast is Vite? So here we're going to use Npm Run Build for both. And I will try to do it at the same time. And basically it compiles really fast. So this one from Webpack took, okay, almost 3 seconds, but this one was already done like before. I have to be honest here, Vite doesn't use ESM for building into production. Why? Because they say it in the webpage, actually, there is a note that why they are bundled for production, they use rollup under the hub. So even though native ESM is now widely supported, shipping unbundled ESM into production is still inefficient, even with HTTP 2, due to the additional network round trips caused by nested imports. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that they don't have enough behavioral consistency to build into production. So ESM is not mature enough yet to do it, so that's why they depend on rollup, bundle based to bundle into production. That's okay. If you wanted to check actual numbers, I wrote an article in Dev2 with the speed comparison, the same as we did in the video, with all the steps like scaffolding, dev server, updating. This one can be improved. I guess I will do the example that we did in the video and the build one. And you have several videos to check the difference between both. Of course, this link is going to be in the description as well as the written version of this video into an article. Okay, so both are going to be in the descriptions. That's it. And I hope that after seeing this video you give Vite a chance and tell me in the comments how was the experience. Just take one of your Webpack or Rollup or Parcel projects and migrate it into Vite and tell me how fast it is. That's all for today. Next episode comes on next Monday, so please subscribe so you don't have to manually search for them and you can have the latest updates on my channel. And also, if you like this episode, just drop a like, it means a lot. Happy coding!